Hey there everyone, and welcome to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. On today's video, we're going to be catching up on some of the latest retro gaming news, including some new additions to the Evercade Pocket line, and a fantastic 4th of July drop from Nintendo onto their Nintendo Switch Online service. It's all coming up right after this. Alright everyone, as always, thank you so much for tuning into this video. If this happens to be your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscription button, click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video, give this one a thumbs up, and leave a comment below if you want to be part of the conversation. So, if you're a fan of Evercade, you know that they've released several different ways that you can play their cartridge-based gaming systems, from consoles you plug into your TV to handhelds you can take on the go, including two systems called the Evercade Pocket Edition, one based on Capcom and one based on Taito, both with several games built in. Well, they've just announced two new versions of their Evercade Pocket with more built-in games. Let's check them out. So here we are with the announcement from Evercade of two new additions to their Super Pocket handhelds, one based on Atari games and one based on Technos games. Let's get a little more info on what you can expect from these. Now, this article comes from Video Game Chronicles talking about this announcement from Evercade. And what we're going to get here is the two new Super Pocket editions. The Atari one is going to come with 50 built-in games, including 13 arcade games. Games are going to range from the 2600, 5200, 7800, and Lynx, along with those 13 arcade games. The Super Pocket Technos edition has 15 built-in games, including all the Double Dragon games, River City Ransom, Renegade, and Combat Tribes. So, of course, just like the Capcom and Taitos edition, these will play the Evercade cartridges directly in them, so you're not left with just the built-in games. You can continue to play all of the games in Evercade's ever-expanding library. Now, there's a video here on the announcement. Let's check this out as well. Alright, so here we are showing off the Super Pocket Edition, so a little bit on the Capcom and Taito one, and now they've announced Atari and Technos. Here we go, Atari 50 classic games, Technos 15 games. The layout on these looks exactly the same as the other Super Pocket editions, so it's going to play pretty much the same way. It's just a matter of which one you like better, which games list you like better, because just like with the Capcom and Taitos, the built-in games, at this point at least, aren't ones that are going to be available on cartridge. So if you want to play those particular games, you're just going to get them, I believe, in the Pocket Editions. I know that's true for Capcom, possibly true for Atari too, but here we go. Pre-orders are going to start at the end of this month, July 31st. So the price on these is going to be about the same as the other Pocket Editions. It's going to run you about 60 bucks here in the US, or 60 euros, 50 pounds, you know, depending on where you are in Europe or Great Britain. So because yes, they will be available over there as well, just like the other Evercade products. But like I said, if you want to get these in the US, they're going to set you back about $60. Now, with the Atari one, there is a special edition version that you can get, I believe, directly from Funstock. Let's check that out real quick. And what you're looking at here is the Hyper Megatech Atari Super Pocket Woodgrain Special Edition. This is a special version of the Atari Super Pocket. It is exclusively from Funstock. You can see it's got this wood grain look to it, just like an old school Atari 2600 system did. It is going to be a little bit more expensive than the standard edition. It's going to run you $76.59 US, and they are limiting it to, funny enough, 2,600 units. So right now it says sold out, but I believe that's probably just because the pre-orders don't go up until the end of the month. Then you should be able to get your pre-order in on this. Looks like shipping is going to be sometime in mid to late October. But I wanted to show this off, not just to check out this special edition, which I think looks pretty cool, but this website also has all 50 games listed on it that are going to come with the unit. Now, this is the same whether you get this special edition version or the regular version. These are the 50 games that it's going to come with. I just wanted to show this really quick. I've blown this up so you can actually read it. I'm not going to go through all 50. I'll kind of scroll through so you can see. I'll have links in the description to the announcement, to this website, in case you wanted to purchase the special edition version, and you can check this out for yourself. But just some of the highlights here. You've got games like Asteroid, Berserk, and Frenzy, which are great additions to the Atari line, so I'm happy to see them show up here. Still hoping they're going to show up on the Atari 50th collection when they add more games to it later on this year. Crystal Castles, Millipede, Missile Command. It's going to be interesting to see how some of these games play, considering that there's a little D-pad on the unit. There's no trackball, obviously, on this Pong, spinner type thing, Super Breakout. But it is going to be, interesting to see how some of these play. In the 2600 line, you've got games like Adventure, Haunted House, the 2600 version of Tempest, Video Pinball, Yar's Revenge, one of my favorite games. Then we get into the 5200, Countermeasure, Minor 2049ers. On the 7800, you've got the Asteroid and Centipede versions there. Just going to keep, like I said, keep running down this. Food Fight, Ninja Golf, some fun games. Lynx games like Basket Brawl, Kung Fu, Scrapyard Dogs, Super Asteroid and Missile Command, Turbo Sub, and Warbirds. So that's just a quick rundown of the list. Like I said, you can kind of see it here if I scroll through it somewhat slow. But you can definitely check this out for yourself. I will have the link in the description for you to see the games list yourself. Now, also, real quick, if you wanted to check out the 15 games that are going to come with the Technos edition, here they are. You're going to get Double Dragon, River City Ransom, looks like possibly the NES version of Double Dragon 2: The Revenge, Double Dragon 3: The Rosetta Stone, Double Dragon handheld, again, that looks like the Game Boy edition, obviously, Combat Tribes, hopefully the arcade version, Minky, Monkey, Mysterious Stones, Dr. Jones' Adventure, Renegade, Crash and the Boys Street Challenge, Super Dodgeball, the 16-bit version of Super Double Dragon, I guess the SNES version, Super Spike V-Ball, and Blockout. And there you have it. That is the latest addition to the Evercade Super Pocket line, the Atari version and the Technos version. So if you already own one of the other ones, the Capcom or the Taito one, what do you think of it? Do you like it? Is it a fun way to play your Evercade carts, or do you basically just stick with the built-in games on it? If you don't own it, you've been looking to get one, does the Atari or the Technos one strike your fancy? Is that one that you would like to pick up? Or maybe you already own one of the ones and you're going to pick up another one because you like the extra games lists on it. That Atari one with 50 games looks pretty cool. Again, I'm a little interested to see how some of those games that are typically trackball or spinner games are going to play with the little D-pad on them, but I'm sure that they'll still be a lot of fun. And again, you can always take it with you to play your Evercade cartridges on the go in a smaller form factor. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, moving on from Evercade to Nintendo, we got a little surprise from them a couple of days ago when they dropped a video announcing a bunch of new games coming to their Nintendo Switch Online service. So here we are with the announcement from Nintendo a couple days ago. These games are NES games. They launched yesterday, July 4th, so a nice little 4th of July drop for us. Starting with this one, Cobra Triangle, a boat combat type game. Again, this is not one that I'm super familiar with, but it looks like it could be a lot of fun, so it's neat to see this one get added to the list. Next up, we've got Solar Jetman. This one I kind of remember. It had kind of lunar lander type vibes to it, where you had to pick up these things and drop them off, making sure you just use just enough fuel, all that kind of stuff. So kind of an interesting game to see get added to the list. Next up, we have The Mystery of Atlantis. Not very familiar with this game. I believe this was a Japanese-only release. I don't think this ever made it to North America. But I'm always excited to see them add these to the list because it's fun to get to see games that we don't really remember from back in the day because, like I said, they were Japanese-only. They didn't make it here to North America. Next, we have Mach Rider, which is a combat motorcycle game. This one's a lot of fun, albeit a little tough to play. because you have to hold the A button down to drive and then press the B button to shoot. It can be a little awkward, especially with the controller on the Switch, but still a fun game. And then one of my old school favorites, I love the original golf game for the NES. Yes, it was super simple, but it kind of laid the groundwork for a lot of golf games to come with that meter for how you swing and you know, hit the ball and everything. And it's just a lot of fun, so I'm psyched to see this one finally get added to the Nintendo Switch Online service. And then one in their educational line, Donkey Kong Jr. Math. Now, if I remember correctly, back in the day, the Nintendo was looking at adding a bunch of different educational type games. I don't think they got too many of them, but this was one of the more higher profile ones in Donkey Kong Jr. Math. So it is kind of fun just to see this get added to the list. And then finally is Urban Champion. I think this is made by the same people who did like River City Ransom and those type of games. It's kind of a quote-unquote Street Fighter style game. Not super familiar with it, but it looks like it could be kind of interesting. So this is one that I will definitely check out. So I'm always excited when Nintendo shows a little love to their Nintendo Switch Online. Look, if it's a service you're paying for, you want to see games get added on a pretty regular basis. Now, I do wish that they'd show a little bit more love to some of their other consoles as well, like the Genesis. I feel like we haven't gotten anything for that in a while. But it is cool to see some of these older NES games, and for them to drop 7 in one shot is pretty wild. Normally we only get a couple, or maybe we'll get a couple of NES games, a couple of SNES games, you know, across different lines. So for them to just go ahead and drop 7 new titles, well, new old titles to the Nintendo Switch Online service for the NES was pretty cool, and it's a pretty good games list. That Cobra Triangle looks like a lot of fun. Mach Rider, again, while a tough game, can be fun. Big fan of golf for sure. Always cool to see games like Mystery of Atlantis come that were never available in North America officially. So it's definitely a good list of games. And if you're home over this 4th of July weekend and you want to just pick up and play some stuff, you've got a few added games on your Nintendo Switch Online service. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Were you excited? Are you a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber? Were you excited to see these games get dropped? And if so, which one is your favorite? Like I said, for me, it's got to be golf. But let me know yours in the comments below. Or are you still waiting for some old school NES game or old school game from one of their other services, you know, on their other consoles that are on the service that you're waiting to see drop? And there you have it. That's it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the 2 new Evercade Pocket Editions. Are you excited for either the Atari or the Technos? Do you already have one and you don't care? These are a pass for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, the Nintendo Switch Online service, adding those 7 new games. Do you have a favorite? What's it going to be? Are you excited to see these get dropped on the 4th of July of all days? But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up. It definitely helps me out. Subscribe, of course, to the channel and leave me those comments below. Well, like I said, it's the day after July 4th. I hope you guys had a happy and safe holiday. If you're in the U.S., if you celebrate, hopefully you're enjoying a nice 4-day weekend off from work as well. And if you are, go ahead and play some of those games. Have a lot of fun. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.